According to the American Community Survey, more than 1 in 5 individuals over the age of 5, which is approximately 21% of the population, speak a language other than English at home. It also states that the number of bilingual speakers is projected to increase in upcoming years. Hello, my name is Stefania Ardigo, and today I'll be talking about the advantages, a slight disadvantage, and the many benefits of being a bilingualist. My goal today is to encourage you to take a foreign language course and becoming a bilingualist. After all, being a bilingualist gives you the opportunity to help individuals understand and communicate in a language in which they are not familiar with. I personally speak 2 languages. Ever since I was little, my parents have taught me how to speak Italian. Not only did they teach me how to speak and communicate in Italian, but they also taught me how to read and write in Italian. They also encouraged me to take courses in Italian in elementary school, middle school, high school, and college, which has influenced me to know more about the language as well as become a better communicator in Italian. College students should consider pursuing a foreign language course. Not only will it give them an advantage in the workplace, but because employers will automatically hire them because they are bilingualist. Nowadays, being a bilingualist or a multilingualist will give you the opportunity to become very creative, especially in the work field or the workplace. It will help you help others understand a concept better. Yes, like everybody else, I do agree that becoming fluent in another language can be difficult and time-consuming, but I assure you it does pay off. If you only put in the time, the effort into learning a new language, I'm sure it is very fun to learn. Not only will it teach you how to speak the language, but it also allows you to become fluent in that language and travel the world because of it. The American Council on Teaching of Foreign Languages states, bilingualism enriches and enhances an individual's mental development, which is very true, and I'll get to that examples later on. Georgetown University of Medical School state that bilinguals have higher gray matter. Now, gray matter is a component of the central nervous system, and it serves to process information in the brain. Bilinguals have more gray matter, and I'll show you a picture of it. So the top picture, the top half I should say, is a person who is a Spanish native. And as you can see, there's a lot of gray matter, but not as much activity because he is only speaking Spanish. In the second picture, it shows the second language, which is English, and you can obviously see that there are more activity in the brain as well as more gray matter. Executive control is known to be the #1 working component in a bilingual's brain because it allows the bilingual to have more attention and long-term memory because of the 2 languages in which they have to acknowledge. It also said that bilingualists have an increase on cognitive control. In other words, switching languages is not easy, but yet we do it anyways because we have to be really rapid in doing so. So, Georgetown University also states that the more gray matter there is, the better equipped bilinguals are to process tasks such as reasoning, problem solving, and multitasking. Interesting enough, my next point refers to a cognitive neuroscience, Ellen Bialskov, which she states that the regular use of two languages can delay symptoms of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. By proving this, she conducted a study in 2004 on Alzheimer's patients and found that bilinguals showed symptoms 5 to 6 years later compared to those who are monolingual. Now, we all know that Alzheimer's disease is a progressive disease in which allows an individual to forget things. But in this case, or in the case of bilinguals, this does not happen. Because bilinguals are so used to memorizing so much information, it's kind of difficult for us to forget it. Medical experts from the University of Phoenix claim that bilingualism can lead to more flexible learning and also an improvement in cognitive skills. One of the major cognitive skills in which makes a bilingualist smart, so to speak, is memorization. Because we have to acknowledge two different languages, we know the two different vocabularies, two different grammars, and so on. In 2012, the New York Times published an article stating both languages are constantly active in a bilingual brain. Even though you're only using one language at a time, a bilingual's brain is steadily flexing its muscles constantly, resolving conflict. A bilingual's brain has a heightened ability to monitor the environment around it because it has to know what language to use and when. So no matter what the environment, no matter what language, a bilingualist have to understand and mentally calculate what language to use and when. Interesting enough, Agnes Kovacs of International School of Advanced Studies in Trieste, Italy, states that speaking in another language challenges the brain to process information rapidly, thus positively aiding future learning other difficult subjects. So basically what she means is if you know how to memorize two different languages, other materials will come very easily to you, whether it's learning math, science, philosophy, any subject there is. It will become very easy for you. There is no conflict. As mentioned earlier, even though I did mention the so many advantages of being a bilingualist, there's one slight disadvantage in which bilinguals have. That setback or that disadvantage is that bilinguals have a problem when it comes to vocabulary use. According to Christina Olson, monolinguals have more vocabulary in their one language than bilinguals had in either of their languages alone. Because bilinguals have to switch from one language to another, some words don't come automatically. An example would be if I'm talking to you in English and I want to say a word, I can't quite figure it out because I'm thinking of that specific word in Italian. And sometimes it's a vice versa. She also states that time it took to retrieve words when thinking was slightly longer for bilinguals. Bilinguals have this disadvantage because they need to resolve a cognitive conflict of choosing the word for the appropriate language rather than choosing the appropriate word like monolinguals do. This is also known as delayed language. As mentioned before, we do get stuck on a word. We might imagine the word, but it just doesn't come to us because we can't think of it due to the conflict within the two languages in which are present at the time. In conclusion, being bilinguals have many advantages regardless of the setback of the vocabulary issue. Because a bilingual, I'm sure that over the years, like myself, being a bilingualist will improve over time. Yes, there will be some disadvantages because of the word usage, but that's not a problem. Almost every bilingualist will go through that. It just takes time, patience, and practice. So hopefully I have encouraged you to take a foreign language class in the future. Thank you. My name is Stefania Ardigo.